Really cool thing. On Fridays, I do trade reviews. That's what today is, Friday. Therefore, I chose a trade review from out there on the real life trading community to talk about, discuss, analyze, break down, and segment about what we could have done good, better, great, bad, and all in between. Hope you enjoy this trade review.
All right, traders, it's your Friday trade review, and what we're going to do today is simply talk about when you may or may not want to specifically play a gap and go in the broader markets. One thing that a lot of people struggled with today was specifically knowing when to take a trade bullish. And this is just one of my general rule of thumbs when I am day trading some individual stocks and individual equities. First and foremost, my goal is to simply not do what the broader market is doing. Obviously, that's much easier said than done, but if the whole market is gapping down, I try to look for something that's gapping up. Or if the whole market is gapping up, I try to look for something that's just doing it something different. So an example would be today on the SPY. Today on the SPY, the whole market was up dramatically. The market, in essence, was down dramatically yesterday. Really, really big selling event. And it was needed. I'm glad it's happening, and I'm very glad it occurred. But all we're doing presently is really trading down into the long-term moving averages and kind of acting at those as a support. And we're working on bouncing off those. This will probably be a bouncing event over the next few days anyway. But regardless of that, if you were day trading, here are some trades that some traders played. They played way too aggressively and ended up losing because the entire market was also gapping. Everything. Not only the SPY, but everything. So I'm not referring to if the SPY is gapping, you don't have to do this. I mean, when the whole market is doing something, you want to avoid whatever that is, and try to think the opposite direction. So example, here's a stock that a lot of traders traded out there. It was Square. And here's your very first 5-minute chart. So if you do play a gap and go, obviously you can be more aggressive, as you know. Here's the extended hours, and what I'm going to do is just turn the moving averages off for just a moment so you can just really, really see the price action. And the very first candle that came out was a bearish candle. In fact, let's go to a smaller time frame. Let's just look at a 1-minute chart. So if I'm looking at a 1-minute chart on Square, you'll see the very first candle was, again, bearish. The high of this candle was 89.18. The high of this candle, 89.17. So we never went higher than the first opening range. So when the entire market is doing the exact same thing, so the Dow Jones is up, the S&P is up, what else is there? The Russell and the Nasdaq, everything is gapping higher. You are looking for something that's either gapping down or you're looking for something that is gapping up but differently. So specifically, if you do play a stock that's gapping up when the whole market's gapping up nicely, wait a few minutes. Don't do it aggressively. Give yourself an hour or 30 minutes at least to see what the broader market will do. Because on Square, this was a gap and go that did not go. So when I am trading personally a gap and go, right, bearish candle gapping up, and those particular stocks do not go higher, right? You open with that range and that particular range starts failing on the 1 minute or whatever time frame you're looking at, then you're going to be waiting and you're going to be more patient. So here's the 2-minute chart on Square. In the 2-minute chart, again, bearish candle gapped up and we ended up coming up with a double top, and the double top went lower. Beautiful, perfect in every way, closed below the neckline right here. So your shorting, had to be somewhere in this general vicinity. Just had to be somewhere short on Square if you're playing the 2-minute chart. And again, over here to the 5-minute chart, again, you can see big bearish candle, nice upper shadow. We never broke out of that range, and then we just started failing. Once we closed below that pre-market support, that was just a nice little selling event on Square. Now let's look at another one. I had another trader play Kohl's today, KSS, and they wanted to know why they lost on Kohl's. This one's a little bit tougher, but again, on the daily chart, it was doing what the broader market was doing. So this is the daily chart on Kohl's. Let me turn off the extended hours here for just a moment. And you'll see it was a nice gap. You had a bearish candle yesterday, nice upper shadow, right? And with that upper shadow, it was gapping above the high, beautiful gap. The challenge on Kohl's, again, was just simply that everything in the market was gapping. Everything. Everything? Everything. So here's the 5-minute chart on Kohl's. So if you did play the just normal opening range breakout, here's the high of the day, 23.29. The high of this candle, 23.29. So if you play that, you could have potentially got triggered in if you put your stop a little bit too aggressive. If you turn the extended hours on, again, we'll see 23.29 and 23.29. So you would have really wanted for a break above the high of this candle. And once this candle came in, this tweezer top, 23.29 and 23.29, you could have absolutely had an entry above that particular candle and let it play it out higher from there. But realistically, it just never went higher and just kind of kept going down at that particular point. Again, if I'm playing a stock when the whole market's gapping really massively in one direction or another, I'm just looking for something else, or I'm looking at being patient. If the SPY is gapping in one direction, the Dow Jones is gapping in the other direction, the NASDAQ's doing whatever it's doing, I can play whatever. But if the whole market, in just an overall essence, is doing one thing, you've got to be patient. You've got to do something different. So here's what we did in the morning day trading room officially. We played American Eagle Outfitters. And if you want to know why we played this, it's really simple. It looked different than the market. American Eagle Outfitters, ticker symbol AEO, was a really nice bullish candle that was gapping up. So most of the market was bearish candles gapping up. AEO was a white candle gapping up. So on the white candles gapping up, we're expecting some sort of retest. And I did play this on a 2-minute chart and a 1-minute chart. But realistically, what I was looking for was some buying to come in, and then we shorted the breakdown of the buying. So here was the big bearish candle. So again, as soon as the market opened, when you have these really strong gaps, ladies and gentlemen, if it does not gap immediately and start going immediately, that's a pretty good signal to be very, very, very patient. First 1-minute candle was bearish. Second candle was bullish. And then you had this really nice little sideways action right here. So when this sideways action came in, we shorted below the low of these this high wave candle here and this bullish candle here. So if I go into a 2-minute chart, you'll see on a 2-minute chart, just played this high wave candle breakdown right here. 1183 by 1210 was our entry short, and we simply got out when this gap got filled. And ironically enough, again, if you had played the actual good old classic white candle gapping up retest gap, and that means that you're buying into the 10 EMA on the pullback, if that was the strategy that you did, that strategy actually worked very well also, because it just came right down to the 10 and bounced, and you could have made an R on the upside. The other trade that we played was SPY, SPY, and this was a really, really big win. This was a bearish trade. So again, with SPY gapping up, whole market's gapping up. First candle is bearish, right? Very, very nice opening range breakout. Everyone and their mom's excited about getting in bullish, right? You had a bunch of selling yesterday, but it's not that easy. Remember, folks, the market will never make something so easy. The whole market is gapping up like that. I would rather miss a trade than get into a trade and lose money. I miss trades every single day. So again, it's just my goal when I'm looking at something like this to go, let me just wait and see what it does. Once these two bullish candles got taken out by this bearish candle, it was short city on SPY, and that was pretty much the only way to play it, with some 307 puts expiring today. Able to buy those for about $1.50, and down here they're worth about $6. It's a 500% return, ladies and gentlemen, if you were playing those SPY puts, and a lot of traders did. So congratulations if you were in the morning day trading room. It does take a lot of experience, unfortunately, with gaps like this, but it's just one of those situations, my friends, where if you are playing these moves, when the whole market does something, it's generally okay to wait and be patient. So example, right over here back on May 18th, right? When May 18th happened, you can see it was a good gap, and then the market retested, and then we continued higher. Also, another example was April 6th. April 6th had that really strong gap. Everything in their mom gapped up that day. Everything was bullish that day. You still had an opportunity to get in the next 2 or 3 days. So remember, even if you feel like you're missing an opportunity, you are, because you're missing billions of dollars worth of opportunity every single day, my friends. It's not about the trades that you take. It's about the trades that you don't take. It's okay not to take trades. It's about being calm, being cool, being collected, and being patient. Pinterest, right? Pinterest was an inside day candle, nothing really special there. And then Boeing, ticker symbol BA. Boeing, I do like the continuation higher here, But again, the whole market was gapping up, and when every single thing is gapping up, it's just a lot more intelligent oftentimes to just wait it out, be as patient as you can, and then see what will transpire. So overall, folks, it was a pleasure trading with you all this week. Very profitable June for a lot of traders. And here's the crazy thing. We are halfway through. Next week is option expiration Friday for June. Have a lot of options expiring in June. Get at me and post in the comment section below which stocks you want me to review for you on the Monday and or Wednesday stock review. Until then, love life, live life, and trade it. Bye.
Okay, that was your Friday trade review. Thank you for watching. You are a majestically marvelous human being. I'll see you later. Bye.